what kind of triggers that? Leadership team needs training.
Yeah.
And then how do you approach that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's always an interesting, project when the leaders are bringing you in, because number one, it's certainly a risk, because a lot of times leadership teams don't like to admit where they're not perfect or good or anything. So it takes somebody to say, I need help. And especially a senior team isn't likely to say, I need help, right? So that's a big thing for them to look at it that way. And so one of the couple of things I think we see is, are they really a team? Sometimes at a leadership level, we're supposed to have these teams, right? So I'll have a team because we're supposed to do those things, or that's the latest, buzzword or whatever. And they're no more a team than, I don't know, anybody. So they just don't operate as a team. They may not even know what it looks like or what they're even supposed to do. So one of the things that I try to talk about is, do you really want a team, or do you just want a group of individuals? And either one can be effective, but let's make sure you know what it is you want, because they're completely different in how they interact. So we usually start with that kind of concept about, what does a team look like if you really want a team? And in my, definition, not just mine, but, industry definition of a team is, we work together, we have common goals, we support one another.
Productive conflict.
All those things.
Right.
And so that's that. But, sometimes a leader just wants to call it a team and still maintain control and tell people what to do. Or we just operate in these silos. I worked for a company that, in theory, had a leadership team, and all it was a group of leaders that operated their own silos. So they would meet together as a team, but then okay, I'm going to take care of my own stuff, instead of, okay, what's the best for the company? Do we need to share resources? Do we need to, whatever? Let's get some alignment and make some common decisions and those things.
What happens if the leadership team stays in silos versus you coming in and helping them become a real team? What happens?
Well, you just, again, set people up for failure, because it's almost like the training is an event, right? And all I have to do is get through it, and then we go back to our old way of doing business, and that's not healthy. So I think when the leadership teams decide to do something, they know they just don't want the status quo. They need to do something different. One of the big things I've seen in some of the leadership teams that keeps them from being effective is lack of trust. As you might, it's not that they don't trust each other, but they don't really trust each other to be able to speak what's on their mind, right? They trust each other in order to do what they say. They know that when you say something, you're going to carry it out.
Right.
Perfect. But the element of trust, I think, that's missing is the ability to speak freely without fear of retribution or, making somebody look bad or anything like that. And so that's really one of the foundations that we work on is, how do we build the trust? We use a model from Patrick Lencioni, 5 dysfunctions of a team. And that pyramid that he uses is the foundation's trust. And so if we can start there where people are comfortable speaking their mind, even though it might go against other people, or maybe I have to call out another leader who isn't doing what they say they're going to do, I should be comfortable enough to do that and be supported by the team saying, no, you did the right thing.
Yeah. Now,
maybe I don't say it the right way and maybe I use the wrong words or whatever. Get over it, right? You did the right thing. We can apologize for, I misspoke or I said the wrong word, but we at least, our intent was to do the right thing and start to have these conversations.
Right. You trust each other enough to be able to get over it.
Exactly.
And continue to work together. Yeah, absolutely.